one day we will all lay in the gardens of remembrance and forget everything we ever knew. But until then, you can feel the tick and the tock, and you hear them as they mock when you turn and face the face of the ever-present clock. That look of shock that's in your eyes should not come as a surprise, for we all know that time lies with the dogs that carry fleas. If it pleases you to think that ticking time is but the link, then please yourself away. But time is night, and time is day. It's the rock that man has built. A man's upset when time is spilt and it trickles down the drain. Time and time again, as we take time by the hand and we wander off alone into time's eternal land, to the shoreline, at the hourglass that trickles out the sand, to the ever-present beat of the time in which we'll meet the waters lapping at our feet, where the tide of time will greet us, as if we, the unborn fetus, had no idea that time's against us as we try to build a fence against the past and present tense. But time is stone, and it wears away the bone, and it eats all the parts, and time still the beating hearts. And the tears of time will tell if this is heaven or this is hell, when at the ending of the day the bells ring out to say, "Time, gentlemen, please." We shall get down on our knees and plead for one last chance, just one more loving glance at the time we left behind. I am resigned. So, throughout my life, which has been quite long, quite good, I have been involved in many things. None of them good, I hasten to add. Well, I mean, for the past 5 years I've been very good, but before that was, I'm not even going to mention what I was just crazy. 60s rock and roll, drugs, sex, well, not so much sex, more drugs, but we're not going into that. So here's one I wrote when I sort of became normal. Ish. Normal-ish. And this one's for the junkie in everybody. The lightning, and the appearance of ghosts. Oh, to me, not frightening, just thoughts. Though they last, those pieces of the past, the stones I've cast in the oceans of time. When we all wore the sign that said, "Beware. Those who go dare look into the fires of hell, and with the coins of their souls sell their lives as well they might." My nightmares in the night remind me of darker days when I became those ways. Those Stygian deeds and the wasting seeds of minutes that ticked. When I'd been sick of the sight of me, I took up a hammer to bust my knees, my feet, my face, because I had to get out of that place. So I howled at the moon, hoping that soon the pain would quicken, make eyes sicken to something good. Would that it could, but it did not. And what have I got? Broken bones, busted face, ghosts laughing back at my place. I can't escape. I'm locked into my fate, imprisoned by yesterday, and so I lay on my pillow and weep like a woman, sinking in my tears, sucking on my fears, and those that were near are so far away, removed from this earth to a spiritual rebirth, but it don't help me. Because what can I see? The widening chasm, the spastic orgasm, the inevitable starvation. I can't see my salvation in here or out there. But what the hell do I care? I'll go back in the trap and that will be that. But I know there's a key that will set me free. First, I have to find the lock. I have to be a rock, take the sand from my eyes, wake up and realise if I don't do it now, then it's adios, John, kapow, the lights go out, the clocks don't chime. But then I will rhyme in some other place, far removed from this race, on a seat beside those who went before, when life was spent in laughter and song. Now I know why I long to jump in the lake, partake of that death after life, the life after death, the stuttering breath that cleanses the brain, but it's all the same, it's just a different phase, like some mist in the haze. When my head's in the daze, it seems, I swallowed the sun, and it stopped all the fun, and it smashed all my hopes, put me down on the ropes. Now, it cannot be denied that I may have defied some obscure deity with its contrived gaiety, but now I'm back in the zone. I want to go home. I feel so alone. In the midst of a crowd, I want to shout back, give me a hug. All they do is shrug and say, another mad trouble, looking for a hug. Yeah, I say, kiss my ass, because you're not in my class. Yeah, again, I don't care, because I'm no longer there. I'm in the whitening lightning, and the ghosts in my flat go a rat-a-tat-tat as they knock on the door. Sound kicking me down to the floor till I beg them to cease. They know that I miss them all. They're my friends. Until my life ends, until I'm with them forever in the day that is never night. Phew, that was a long one. Oh. Now here's what my mother wouldn't like me saying. I do some tours down South London and sometimes up through Soho. Just a few walking tours, a few places I know. Madame JoJos, you know Madame JoJos? Oh, some nice girls going there. Well, you think they were nice girls. Oh, somebody knows Madame JoJos.
I have friends, it's closing.
Is it closing?
Yeah.
Okay then. So I stood outside Madame JoJos, which is I think it's a transvestite or transsexual club. Well, it's either one or the other. Hey, who cares today? And I read this poem and then I ran. A woman, tall and slim, walks within this man who is a man. He looks at her, longs for her hips, her lip, but oh, what it is to want and yearn, to be each other each in turn, and to look inside, to slide into her dress, her shoes, and in confusion lose oneself. About 5 years ago, when I hooked up with this charity, he really sort of helped me change my life around. I suppose. Well, it did. They stopped me from dying. I guess that's the same thing, isn't it? I met some people, and they did a short film, and it was my mum's 80th birthday, and I had bugger all to give her, to church mouse. So I give her a piece of poetry. Now this may not come out as it was written, because it's 5 years since I've performed this really. And I called it Morecambe Bay. I was brought up in Lancashire. Born in the northeast, brought up in the northwest. It's like a bit like my life, so here and there. So I went up and they filmed it for me, which was rather nice. So is it Morecambe Bay? Anyone know Morecambe Bay? Yeah. Beautiful place, isn't it? Remember the old swimming pool? 2 and 6 for a day's swimming? Miss Great Britain, Eric Morley. No, you don't remember that? Yeah, we used to climb over at wall, keep the $50 and buy chips on the way home. Morecambe Bay. Morecambe Bay. We got dressed in shorts and shirts the day we headed off to Morecambe Bay. The charabanc we took, it shook, rattled along to the sound of our songs and boyish laughter. And after what seemed eternity, we saw the sea. And could see in technicolor the oceans, greens and blues, and several other different hues. And then my mum said, off you go now, I'll be watching from the deck chair. She kissed us both. She also kissed Tommy, with the son of my dad's best friend. Off you go now, no fighting. And off we went. Aye. We spent the morning catching periwinkles in the sunlit bay. Well, I remember that sunlit day. And then my mum called. In fact, she bawled, come on now, boys, it's time for lunch. I had a lunch that after lunch she'd want to take a shopping. Oh, skip and popping around Woolworths. But then my dad turned up. And as I drank Tizer from my blue plastic cup, he said, come on now, boys, I'm taking you off down to the fair. You were a Lancashire lad, that was. And he carried me on his shoulder. Aye, I'm glad my dad didn't have brill cream on his head the day he took us off to the fair. What a time we had. Round and round, long the horses, dipping for ducks. Everyone a winner, the cry went. I wanted to see what the butler saw. But my dad said that's for older boys. And anyway, it's time to go and find your mum. A long way home. No laughs or shouts, just yawns and smiles, and later, I cannot recall just when, told me Mum did say it, but after 10. She tucked us in and kissed us night, and if my memory serves to tell, I can her perfume still enjoy and smell. Just before light goes out, I turned to her brother and said, "We'll not forget this lovely day." He said, "Go to sleep." I did to the old Globe Theatre. What about that? Who said they went to the theatre to see Pericles? I thought that was a medical condition. Anyway, I went £5 to go and see Titus Andronicus. I mean, not the original one, he's dead thousands of years later. At the new Globe Theatre. What a performance. We've got a stand, of course. No comfort in that place, but it was a great show. A bit different from the original Globe Theatre, which is like a car park and a couple of houses at each side. So we all know that. Get into the rows before they start charging you for that free entrance to see the archaeological dig. That's a great theatre, probably the greatest theatre. Anyway, Shakespeare-inspired poetry. I like to say that, it's got bugger all to do with Shakespeare, other than I call it The Ghost of Frederick Rye, W-R-Y. And I don't know why I call it that, just a fancy name, I suppose. Writings become the annotations, the exclamations in the margins of my life. I am stifling in the sutures of some silicone-filled future where the fact becomes a fiction, and with a predilection for affection I search out with some conviction to look for something more. In the corners of my eyes where constellations live and die, and where stars are born and burn, I turn into inner space, hoping there I'll find a place where this pen that meets the page is divested of its rage, and in the margins once again only peace and inklets shall remain. Aye, books are made to frame these words. Wire-bound things, some with sturdy spines. Many times I have been taken far away from where I lay into another world within this world, and in the whirling of narcotic tree the story. This is the me. The lights against the night, the wrong way round, the day that breaks without a sound and yet remains unbroken, a token that will win no prize, more constellations in my eyes. Progressively, I believe in more and more of my own lives, and surprisingly, I knew this would occur. This event was written in the margins when I wasn't there, but was read and readily digested as another fiction. Fact! Was it something that I missed or lacked? In the margins, life is difficult, and to define a future has no future. When the snippings of another suture binds the wounds and hurts abate. I would not write against the margins of my fate, nor take a page again to sate my rage again. I must be brave again, I must behave again. In and on a dusty manuscript, where one more dream was stripped and one more life was ripped to shreds, I put to bed these haunts. I'm now going to read from a book you can't buy, because I've sold them all. I should have ordered some more, shouldn't I? Look at the crazy guy I am. And this came about, House of St. Barnabas again, 150 years anniversary, and they invited me to read from the Bible. Me reading from the great book. And I did in front of the Bishop of London. Ooh, fancy man. A nice outfit. Dig. The fishermen. On the left side of due diligence, by the leg that's called impermanence, is the one they call his eminence, and he stands alone in ignorance. The bishops look much finer with their Bibles bound in China and feet sold in the markets of God-forsaken foreign places. Faces look towards him and the penitent adore him, but scorn them all would take him to the lake and then desert him. And on the cold fields of a Calvary, where the saints survive, it bothered me that the only thing that I could see were the bishops in their finery. I do actually, I got a head full of poetry, but sometimes I don't remember it. But before I read this one, I wrote a piece and someone said, "Don't you write anything nice?" See, this was a long, winding piece. And I said, oh, I wrote a funny one last night. And I originally called it Theories Kill Ya, which then changed to A Fish Called Pythagoras. So here it is. A fish, it's not in the book, by the way. If you wanted to buy it at some point, it's not in the book. Might be good. Anyway, A Fish Called Pythagoras. I once kept some fish. I called one Pythagoras. He swam round and around his tank, and to be frank, I thought he were working out the cubic capacity. to keep them fit. Oh, that was funny. Yeah, to keep them fit, I fed them on flakes because that's all it takes. But he was a sod. He took out a fishing rod. He caught all the others. He ate all his brothers. Well, I was a bit peeved. But then I conceived this idea, oh Lord, what a killer. In his tank I put a mirror. Well, when he saw his reflection, section by section, he ate himself. Finished with his head. And now, Pythagoras is dead. Did you expect a happy ending now? And St. Barnabas, of course, is the saint of encouragement, which is rather nice. There's a poetry event there, May the 2nd, from 6 o'clock till whenever. It's a free event, so pop in, say, when you get through the door, just say you're here for the poetry, and you'll also get to see a fabulous house. The house where Dickens wrote A Tale of Two Cities. The two plane trees are still there in the garden.